I am the archivist, and some secrets refuse to stay buried. Welcome to the Spark Vault. Niterói, Brazil, August 1966. In the vibrant pulse of a coastal city, two threads of a strange destiny were about to converge on a lonely, windswept hill. A city humming with life, unaware of the bizarre appointment two men were determined to keep. Manuel Pereira da Cruz, Miguel José Viana. By trade, they were electronics technicians. By all accounts, ordinary family men, fathers, husbands. But beneath this mundane surface, they shared an extraordinary and dangerous secret obsession, a fringe belief they called scientific spiritualism. In the quiet confines of their workshop, surrounded by oscilloscopes and spare parts, they weren't just fixing radios. They were building devices to pierce the veil. They believed with devout certainty that they could merge technology with the paranormal to communicate with other worlds, other intelligences. They were searching for a signal from beyond. What they were looking for was a connection. What they found was death. On the morning of August 17th, they told their families a simple, believable lie. They were driving to São Paulo to buy electronic components for the workshop. Instead, they boarded a bus to Niterói, nearly 200 kilometers away. They carried a small suitcase and 2.3 million cruzeiros, a significant sum of money. Their movements became a trail of quiet, nervous encounters. The last person to speak with them was a waitress at a small corner bar. She sold them a bottle of mineral water. She later told police they seemed intensely anxious, constantly glancing at their watches, as if running on a celestial timetable that only they understood. Shortly after leaving the bar, they made one final strange purchase from a local shop: 2 waterproof raincoats, a curious choice for a clear, sunny day. Then, armed with their raincoats and their mysterious appointment, they began the trek to their destination, Morro do Vintém. 3 days passed. On the afternoon of August 20th, a young boy chasing a kite carried by the wind ran up the slopes of Morro do Vintém. He was unprepared for what he would find. Hidden in a patch of dense brush, he stumbled upon a horrific scene that would baffle Brazil for decades. The 2 technicians, Manuel and Miguel, were found dead. Lying almost peacefully, side by side, on a carefully cleared bed of pine needles, they seemed to have prepared themselves. They were dressed not in work clothes, but in immaculate formal business suits, a stark, surreal contrast to their rugged surroundings. The initial assessment was baffling. There were no signs of a struggle, no visible injuries, no bullet wounds, no blood. Their expensive suits were untouched. Nearby, the empty water bottle, the 2 raincoats neatly folded, and on their faces were the objects that would give this case its name: crude, bizarre, hand-cut lead masks, covering their eyes like some form of ritualistic blindfold. The police were immediately confronted with a wall of silence. The scene was pristine, yet the bodies were already in a state of advanced decomposition, making a reliable autopsy nearly impossible. The internal organs were examined, but no clear cause of death could be determined. Toxicology tests were ordered, but due to the state of the remains, they returned inconclusive. It was a perfect, motiveless crime, or something else entirely. But amongst their belongings, inside the pocket of Manuel Pereira da Cruz, they found the most vital and most frustrating piece of evidence: a small, water-stained notebook. Inside, written in neat, precise handwriting, was a list of cryptic instructions, a checklist for their final moments. The note raised more questions than it answered. What signal were they waiting for? What was in those capsules, and why were they ingested? Theories began to swirl, each more strange than the last. The official explanation, a simple, unsatisfying heart attack, was a story no one truly believed. With a large sum of money involved, others suggested a transaction gone wrong. Perhaps they weren't buying electronic parts, but something illicit. Or perhaps they were murdered for their own technological secrets. But a more esoteric belief began to take hold, a theory fueled by a key witness. A friend of the two men swore that on the night of the 17th, she had seen a strange, brightly glowing, saucer-like object hovering silently over the top of Vintém Hill, at the exact time and place the men were supposed to be. Was this a planned and tragically failed rendezvous with an extraterrestrial intelligence? Did they ingest poison capsules as part of a pact, a suicidal entrance into another dimension? Or perhaps the ritual worked. Perhaps the masks were to protect them from a blinding flash of energy, a spark, a signal that their mortal bodies simply could not withstand. The truth, like the men, lies buried on that hill. The echo fades, but the file remains open. Some things once seen can never be forgotten. I am the archivist, and I remember everything.